So welcome back to a new Game Stuff episode, and these are some items that I picked up recently. There's not a lot of items here, but they're really interesting what is here, that is for sure. And I have an unexpected review, so stick around for that. Let me know what you've been picking up. What have you been buying for yourself lately in the way of video games or merch or anything like that? I'm gonna start off with something because we're in the hype of Metroid Dread. Everybody's playing it and hating the EMMIs. I had to pick this up. It just arrived from Best Buy this morning. It is the Amiibo set right here. And I love these Amiibos, and I'm telling you, as you know, I used to collect Amiibo and then I got out of it. I was like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. And I kind of got rid of most of my collection. But every once in a while, I'll pick up a Metroid one or a Zelda one, you know, or an Earthbound one. But these just look so damn cool. And this thing is the stuff of my nightmares right here, the EMMI. Oh my God, always chasing me down, always killing me, driving me nuts. I want to say something in the way of Amiibos. What is with some of these Amiibo prices? Look at this. A bunch of years back, my wife went to Toys R Us and picked me up this right here. And I kind of saw this online, and it's going for like a lot of money now. And I'm like, some of these things are just getting nuts. I don't know if it's just the Metroid stuff in general. I'm not following the Amiibo craze anymore, so I don't know what things are like with prices. But yeah, it seems crazy how some of these are really going through the roof. It's also interesting if you go to Walmart, up in Canada at least, you can't buy Amiibos there anymore. They used to carry them, they don't anymore. So anyways, so I picked up the Amiibo, had to grab that. You know what, I'm gonna show this. I never show things like this. I bought a few things for the games room. Posters. I bought a few posters. This one, this one is awesome. This one is awesome. It is a Fever Dream Nightmare. And I love this artwork. I loved it since I played it on the PS2 and the remake that just came out recently. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. They did a high definition remake on it. And look at this. I mean, how can I even display this properly? There, we get off. This, look at that. So satanic. So satanic. It is amazing. I picked this up from Fan Gamer, and I saw it one night. I'm like, yeah, that's such an interesting item. I had to snag this. So this is going up on the wall. Now, because I was in the Metroid mood, I picked this up. I got this off eBay. And you know how you can like order posters and the different sizes, and this was a gamble. This is a gamble, but I was like, oh, I'll take the gamble. Look at this. One of my favorite pieces of artwork is a Super Famicom cover, and that is for Super Metroid right here. I mean, if you can I even illustrate this perfectly to you guys with the glare? Try to get the glare off. It's hard to show posters in these episodes, that's for sure. It's okay. The quality is not as nice as I was hoping, but it was not expensive at all. So it kind of made it worthwhile, and I got a huge wall here that I'm going to put it on. I'm like, this is perfect. I've always really loved the Super Famicom artwork. It's so excellent, and really, I don't know, it creates a great atmosphere for Super Metroid there with the artwork, and very inspiring to me. When I look at this, it inspires me. I'm like, I gotta start drawing. I gotta get into that, that's for sure. Okay. Limited Run. There's a few games here from Limited Run. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, the Collector's Edition. Yes, another Monster Boy, Wonder Boy style of game with a Collector's Edition. There's so many of them, but I was like, man, I have to get this. I have to get this. I have a very good Wonder Boy collection, and it's something from my childhood, and it really means a lot to me. I really like the Wonder Boy series, even though this is kind of an inspired by Wonder Boy. They really got the formula right for me. I really love the game itself. I mean, if you haven't played Monster Boy, you really have to give it a shot. It's really wonderful stuff. I mean, beautiful, beautiful graphics and fun gameplay, and I really like the world. I like all the different creatures you turn into. Perfect stuff, and had to pick up the Collector's Edition. It just showed up the other day. You know what was crazy about this one? They brought it into my building. They didn't ring me or anything, whoever dropped it off. I went down to check on my mail, and there's just a box on the floor. And I'm like, and I saw Limited Run. I'm like, well, that's for me. And I looked, and I'm like, why is it just left here? I mean, how many people have had their packages stolen? I mean, but by doing stupid things like that. Just buzz the person up. Like, just buzz them up. Okay, actually, this one isn't from Limited Run. I picked this up from some like video game website up in Canada here, and I was surprised to see it. Streets of Rage 4, the Anniversary Edition, and this includes all of the DLC, all of the extra characters. And what do you guys think of Streets of Rage 4? Did it live up to your expectations? I'm asking that now. For me, I was so happy to see a return to Streets of Rage. I thought Streets of Rage was lost to time. I never, ever thought we would see the likes of it again. And I couldn't believe what they did with it. I think they did a really, really good job. Is it the sprites? No, but they've evolved it. And I think it had to evolve as well. What is my favorite in the series? Streets of Rage 2. It will always be Streets of Rage 2. I love that game. There's a lot of nostalgia in there for sure, but there's something about that, the music, everything, the era I played it in, and the amount of times I played Streets of Rage 2. It was unreal, but I'm not taking anything away from this game. I thought they did a spectacular job, and wow, I can't believe that we actually got another Streets of Rage. Over the years, I've been like, Sega, make another Streets of Rage, and nothing. And then all of a sudden they announced it, and I remember that day I was like, Streets of Rage is back, finally. And Yuzo Koshiro's soundtrack in there. He doesn't do all the music, doesn't do all of it, but his tracks are some of the best, that's for sure. Okay, this one is Limited Run. And it's funny, I grabbed it and I put it on the little pile here to do the new game stuff, and I'm like, I forgot about it. I kept checking the mail. I'm like, this hasn't shown up yet. I don't know why I had like a total brain buzz on that. I'm like, I don't. And then I went over to do this new game stuff episode. I'm like, oh, it is here. I did get it. Okay. I'm like, so that kind of removed that anxiety from me. Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon 2. What do you guys think of this game? I gotta say, it was beautiful to see a return to like NES style of graphics and all of that, and just the gameplay, the music. I thought they did a really, really good job with the first game, and I bought it from Limited Run, the same kind of version, and I'm like, gotta get the matching. I haven't played the game yet, so I don't know how it is, but if it's anything like the first game, I really enjoyed that. Kind of that old NES style of adventure, you know, the actual action platforming, kind of Castlevania style of game. And so really happy to grab this one. This is one that I really wanted to get in the collection. Kind of definitely means something from the childhood. Okay, this is an interesting one. And it arrived in this box. And this is a strange one because a company got in touch with me and they said, hey, we want to send you this game. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't have an interest in it. I don't know what it is. And then I started to read a little bit more into what they were saying, and they're like, it's a Genesis game. And I'm like, what? A Genesis game? This is fascinating stuff. And I guess there was a Kickstarter for this or something like that. And here, Demons Astaborg, right here. I'm just going to show you the inside of this. And this showed up, and I'd forgotten all about it because they asked me about like 8-9 months ago, and then it showed up, and I'm like, what is this? I didn't know what this was. And then I'm like, oh, so I did some research, I looked into it, and I'm gonna pull this all out for you. First, look at this. It comes with like this little sword. It's so wild, eh? I was like, so they did a really wild packaging job, and it's just weird to see, well, it's a Genesis Mega Drive game here, right? Fascinating stuff, and so I'm like, okay. And I'll take it out for you guys because it's really, really kind of cool. There's a map in here, all that kind of stuff. Look at this. Another Mega Drive game, another Genesis style of game. Right here. And what the game is, I had to look into it. It's an action platforming adventure style of game, kind of a Metroidvania. And I saw the graphics and I'm like, they did a pretty good job. And here's the one thing I want to show. Yeah, I'm going to show the inside here, for sure. There we go. We're having a look at that, right? But the thing that me and Rob have been talking about for years, and we either love a game or we hate a game. We don't actually hate the game, but we hate it when they don't have, look at this, color instructions. It has color instructions, which is unbelievable. In modern day times, you never get color instructions ever. So there's actually some stickers in there as well. So have any of you guys tried this game out? Maybe you have a bit of history with it. I don't, but I was fascinated that it was a Mega Drive game, and a new Mega Drive game in 2021. I'm all over that. I always think that's a really interesting thing. It looks like it was a success for them, so that's really an awesome thing. So put that off to the side. Okay, I was going to show one more item before I do this unboxing and review for you guys. Power Stone, the strategy guide. As you know, I did an episode with Rob talking about our favorite video gaming summer in 1999. Classic stuff, amazing stuff. And I talked a lot about Blue Stinger and Power Stone, and it got me all nostalgic, and I had to snag this. I had to grab this off eBay. It wasn't too much, actually, which was really great. I'm trying to get anything from that era that means something. So I got the Blue Stinger one. I think I showed that in the last episode. I got the Power Stone guide here, and it's just all the strategies and all that kinds of stuff for Power Stone back then. It's not that I need it. It's more the nostalgia of the time period. It really is, and I just love the artwork. That's for sure. So beautiful looking stuff. Okay, next up is the unexpected review. A review I did not think I would be doing. That is for sure, because I made a video saying that the Nintendo Switch right here, I didn't need an OLED model. I was very happy with this version because I think the Nintendo Switch is, dare I say, a perfect little system. It's a handheld, you can play it on the TV. I like the resolution of the screen here. I like it when it's on my TV. There's nothing broken, right? So why fix it? Where Nintendo sent me a Nintendo OLED for review, and I said I would review it, and so here we are. And what I'm gonna do right now is compare it and see, is it better? I played with it for the last few days, and I'm gonna talk about that. So we have the Nintendo OLED box here with the original Switch box here to show you for size comparison. And it's interesting. It's an interesting machine, and we're gonna get into all of it right now. So here we go. Here is the Nintendo OLED in my hands. And the one thing I wanna say, compared to the original Switch, a lot heavier. It's a lot heavier. I wanna say that to begin with. Really, I was like, I gave it to Kim to try out. She said, oh, that's a lot heavier. And I said, yeah. And it feels a lot more solid. It feels like the Switch Lite for, you know, like the Joy-Cons feel really attached and really, really strong here. And I really, really like that. So that's really nice. Because on the original, they feel a little shaky, a little bit loose there going on. What is different? What is different? Obviously, the screen is a lot bigger. Here we go, right here. And I'll do a comparison to the original. The screen is a lot bigger. And of course, because it's OLED, it's a lot brighter. And I gotta say, I was impressed by the screen. It has a really nice finish to it and a real nice sleekness to it, and the image really pops off. And I did a comparison looking at them both, and I thought, wow, okay, the screen is nice. You can't say that it isn't. The screen is very nice on this. The one thing, this may sound funny, one of the biggest improvements to me, yes, the screen is there. The biggest improvement is the back here. I love it. The kickstand. Okay, I'm gonna complain about something on the original Switch. The kickstand. How many times did you break this off? I broke this off all the time. You know, putting it down somewhere, look, it's always going off on an angle, right? It doesn't feel stable. This, look at this. This feels stable. Feels stable no matter where you put it. You can lay it down like this, lay it a little bit more upright, there. Where this, see, it's just, you can feel it. It's very unstable. How many times did this pop off? I mean, all of the time. So this was one of my biggest grievances with the original Switch. I mean, I just thought, couldn't they put another one up there or something? And it's really flimsy and came off all of the time. Yeah, it's interesting with them both side to side, having a look at the top and the difference there. And also looking at the bottom, it's quite similar. It's quite similar. So what you're getting is you're getting more memory, you're getting a better screen, and a better kickstand. Now here's where my review comes in. Is it better than the original Switch? Yes, it is. Is it a remarkable difference? No, it's not a massive upgrade. It's not like something like, oh my God, it's not like going into 4K or anything like that. But what I will say is, I think for anybody who does not have a Nintendo Switch, anybody who doesn't have a Nintendo Switch, this is the model to get, for sure. There's no doubt about that. If you're on the fence about jumping in with a Switch, you're like, I haven't done it yet. This screen, will change your life. It's very, very nice. If you've never had your own Switch and you come home and you turn this thing on and you play like Mario Kart on it or whatever game you want to play on it, it's remarkable. And as a handheld, it's one of the best handheld video game devices I've ever played in history. It really is, and that's no lie. That is the bottom line. But that's not taking away from the original Switch. The original Switch's screen, to me, is still excellent. I still love it to this day. And realistically, if you have a Nintendo Switch and you're happy with it, there's no reason to upgrade. There really is no reason to upgrade. Unless you want the better screen, which you will get. You'll get the better kickstand and more memory. And the one thing I almost forgot to mention that is a big deal, this does have better sound. As soon as I turned it on, it sounded louder, but clearer as well. Where this one sounds a little bit subtle with the music and audio, where this really comes off a lot stronger. And I was impressed with the Nintendo OLED, that is for sure. I think it's an interesting system, and definitely the screen shocked me. It really did. I was laid in bed last night playing it, and I was like, this screen is a beautiful looking screen, and I'll bring it up to you guys right there. I'll try not to shine it into the camera, but there we go. A beautiful screen, and the comparison is, yeah, the screen is better, is bigger. That's what you're gonna get with this, that is for sure. Now we're gonna finish this episode with a few Dungeons and Dragons books. I'm gonna start with the first one here, the Chronicles of Aries, right here. I just wanna show that up to you guys right here. Now, what is this? It's a 5th edition source book of Aries. This is the Land of Aries. And I just want to say that this book was sent to me by a guy called Greg. And the reason why I accepted it is he wrote me a long message saying that he's a big Dungeons & Dragons player, and he was inspired by anime and all sorts of things, the Record of Lotus War, all this great stuff. And he wrote this book with some other people and put it together. And it's a passion project. I think it was a Kickstarter or something like that. And I've looked through the book. It's an impressive handbook, that is for sure. It's gorgeous looking stuff and some really nice artwork in here. And they built up their own fantasy world that they dreamt up as kids, right? They grew up playing 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons and were like, we want to make our own book. And I really applaud people for doing that. And to be honest with you, I'll be honest, I cannot believe the quality of the book. I think the book is really, really nice. They've done a really excellent job. I mean, it could stand next to any Dungeons and Dragons style book out there. And so I just want to say, Greg, I applaud your effort, and thank you so much for sending this out, and I really, really appreciate it. Next up is The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, right here by the Dungeons and Dragons teams at Wizard of the Coast. Now, this is a really beautiful looking book. I mean, I was really blown away by it. A very carnival feeling, a book really kind of like high fantasy style going on in here. Again, really, really nice artwork in this one. I was really blown away by this. And I gotta say, me and Kim, my wife, have started to play Dungeons & Dragons. We're doing a solo adventure for Kim. I'm DMing it, and we're having a great amount of fun there. And I've seen a few things in this particular book. I'm not going to say in case my wife sees that I'm actually going to implement into the adventure that I'm running right now. And I was looking through the book the other day and I was like, oh my God, there's a few really, really good ideas here and some interesting characters as well. And yeah, very interesting fantasy setting and definitely one to check out, that is for sure. But I can't wait to get back playing with Kim. We actually have a game tonight. I gotta go and brush up on the adventure. There's a few more notes I need to write. So guys, those are just some things I've gotten recently for my new Game Stuff episode. So let me know what you've been playing, what you've been picking up. Let me know down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.